The cat, I may have to actually lock it out of the room. Hey, why don't, oh, I guess we've started. I should
I would.
start mumbling to myself right as after I press the button go live. We should be live.
Oh, oh, sorry about that. I did turn that down. Anyway,
Okay, there you go, cat.
yeah. See, I don't know if you can hear my dog is in the floor whining.
Oh, great. Yeah, yeah. We'll be distracted
There's
by
a
the animals.
menagerie between.
Yeah.
We'll get through this. So,
I saw your
so
sketch with the black wing mat on the
yeah, yeah.
Instagram.
I labeled that specifically for you.
Yeah,
I figured you would appreciate that.
yeah. It looked like it
Yeah,
inspired you. I don't
it
know.
did. It. Yeah, yeah. You know, I did a little bit with the regular Blackwing and with the mat, and I'm trying to figure out what the
If there's
difference.
yeah,
Yeah,
is there a difference? Yeah, yeah.
that's what I was trying to figure out because I have a bunch of Blackwings.
Yeah. There, it's just a little bit of difference, and it might not necessarily be an advantage difference. It might be a little too crumbly or something. It may behave less like a pencil, than it does a charcoal stick. But it's not a charcoal stick. It
No,
doesn't
no,
do
no. It's not
anything.
It's definitely not charcoal. I don't. It's weird. I don't know.
Hey, dog.
Yeah, the dog is. I almost. Okay, you can get up in my lap. I don't know if you can see the dog.
Yeah, oh, yeah, I can see the dog. I can make you big if you want me to.
No, no, no. Don't make the
Okay.
dog big. Anyway, so so at work, we've been slow this week. It's the end of our busy season, and I always hate when it gets slow because
Hmm.
it's just tedious, you
Yeah.
know.
Does it make you insecure when it's slow, or?
Oh yeah, well, the owner passed away, and so end of last year, I don't know if I told you that or not, and so everyone's
Now,
like,
this is that fellow that moved to Florida for a bit, or?
no, 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 that was my
Okay.
old boss.
Okay. Okay.
No, the founder, the guy that started the company,
Passed
passed
away.
away last year, and so it's like no one knows his kids. It's like, how do his kids feel about all this?
Yeah, that's one of those
And of
things.
course,
It's like once the what do you call it when it the
succession.
guard? Yeah, the succession.
Well, and what's funny is when he passed away, I went out to eat with my family. I mean, like literally like that weekend, the next
Hmm.
weekend, and my uncle was like, I've seen it a million times. They'll come in and tell you nothing's going to change. He said everything's going to change.
The moment you get the idea that something's
So I
not
don't
not
know.
that you're being reassured. Yeah.
Well, the problem is, and this has been an ongoing problem with the company is we make a lot of sales, but we don't make a lot of profit.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And
That'll
so
that'll.
now the kids and the wife are like, wait a minute, and it's because it costs so much to make stuff, and so they're looking at all the pricing, and I think that's why we're not busy. Of course, I've killed
Probably.
myself the last couple of years. If the company stays open and we're half as busy and doesn't affect me, I'm cool with that,
Yeah.
but it makes for a long day. So this week I've been leaving early, and I took off tomorrow because I've heard a rumor, and I've been told no, 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 it's not true, but I don't believe them. I've heard a
Hmm.
rumor that they're going to change the way we do vacation, so I may lose, like at the end of this month, from what I heard, I'm going to lose. Now I get paid for it, but I'm going to lose like 100 hours of vacation straight off the top, which I have about 400 hours. But then they're going to go to a system where you don't, once you accrue your maximum, you don't accrue anymore.
Hmm.
And I don't like that. I don't like that because I feel like, well, I'm earning it. Why wouldn't I get to accrue it? That doesn't make any
Hmm.
sense to me. But But I've heard that they're going to go, which I've been told, no, you don't understand what they're really doing. But because I complained to somebody, I complained to the president of the company. I wrote him an email and said, hey, I've heard this, which they haven't announced it, which is one thing that bugs me too. It's like, man, if you're going to do it, announce it, so people can. But it's like, well, why don't I mean, if they want to cut us back, that's fine, but do it at the end of the summer so people can go on vacation, use up some of their vacation. That's what I told the guy. I said, if you want to, do this, that's fine, but man, do it at the. Oh crap! I did all this on the wrong layer. Son of a gun.
Oh, well, I did something today where I
Oh, wait a minute.
got some layer confusion and.
There you go. I just did one thing. Okay, I
went
wondered why
beyond.
it looked funny. Anyway, so anyway, it annoys me because all that vacation I've accrued, I feel like, it's something I'm owed, and I had kind of planned, because I knew they were going to cut back. I'd heard rumors for a long time they were going to cut back on how much we could roll over. So I was like, okay, I've got to get mine with less vacation, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh no, we're going to go back, because I'd planned, I was going to take off the week of Memorial Day. Well, I think I'm still going to, no matter what they do. Anyway, so I say all that to say I took off tomorrow. I was going to go downtown, but Michelle's out of town. Michelle's in San Diego.
Yeah, good.
And so I don't want to park in her parking lot because I might get trapped.
Mm-hmm.
And so I said, well, I'm not parking her parking lot. So then tomorrow is also the bombing memorial thing, and I'm like, well, crap,
Oh boy,
there's going to be a lot of people down there. And so I thought, you know what, I'm just going to take off because I can take off. I'll have a good time. I'll be here at the house. I can sleep. I mean, a dog got me up at 3:58 this morning, Ellis.
oh yes, these animals are pretty awful at.
Yeah, they don't pay much attention to how late you want to sleep.
Yep.
And
Cat is trying to. He's up on the desk. There's its tail right in my drawing area, and it's trying to touch your face. You seem to be the most active thing on my screen right now. So it's treating you like one of my mouse videos that I bring up for its entertainment.
Funny. Should I do something like this?
Yeah, do something like that. Jump at it. No, it turned its back on you all of a sudden.
Oh well, that's okay. Anyway, so I took off tomorrow because I wanted to go downtown so bad because I'm like, man, the weather's gonna be perfect.
Yes, it's going to be very cool. I may be on the roof tomorrow a little bit, knocking in a few extra nails. I had that worry about some gusts knocking a big chunk loose, and I'll get up there and reinforce a little bit while it's getting on the roof when it's really hot.
Well, first off, you can damage it more than you can help it.
Yeah.
You're not careful.
Yeah.
But
yeah, my roof is beyond damaging. So.
Well, you say that, but is it leaking?
No, it's not leaking.
See, it could be worse.
Yeah, it could be worse.
So yeah, be careful about that.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I left early on Monday. I've left at 4:30 every day, which is about an hour early. But like this morning, I got there at freaking 6:30. So I mean,
I'm doing an experiment. I'm trying to get it doesn't matter how good the drawing is. If you say you're experimenting, experiment. Don't act like you have to do a great sketch or anything like that to initiate the experiment.
Yeah.
And I've got this little drawing. I've been saying I wanted to do a shadow, just coincidentally with you posting a shadow on Instagram that looked pretty good. It was using this pencil I'm using, the Blackwing Matte.
Blackwing Matte.
And I'm just solidifying kind of like this for basically putting it under fix, and then I'm going to after I fix it, I'm going to put a little walnut oil or linseed oil over the top of it and then wipe it off and see if that makes it, take the oil, if that eases that oil a lot, onto it.
Oh, yeah.
We'll see.
Gotcha.
I've got the classic Razorfist, who's kind of the ultimate Shadow fan, talks about the cliche of always having the Shadow with his 45s blazing. But I always do it anyway. I don't care.
Well, when I drew that cover, or not, I don't know if it's a cover, that illustration. I asked the guy, well, what do you want? And one thing he says, well, we get a lot of the Shadow with his 45s. He's like, do something. In fact, I originally drew that. My rough, he had a pistol in his hand. The guy said, why don't you take the pistol out of his hand? I'm like, okay.
Boy. What else does he do with his hands?
Yeah, well,
eat a donut?
Yeah, he's eating a donut. I drew the Shadow eating a donut. No, I drew. He was in the back of the bowling. He was kind of balancing himself. So I mean, I'm okay with that.
Yep. I'm going to just mostly make this dark with a few pick out moments, and you know what? This is going to work. I'm not necessarily proud of it. I like it because what it is like, did you ever play that game? That's one thing that my mom used as a strategy to keep me quiet and beyond restless in church, was she would do the doodle game where she would make a quick doodle.
Oh, then you had to make an animal out of it or something?
Yeah, and I'd have to do something with it. And I would so that sort of thing, it may have actually been an influence on my style. I don't know.
I guarantee you, me drawing in church was probably a
big deal.
Because when I was a kid, there was no, now they've got kids' church and stuff. There was nothing like that when I'm talking about a little kid.
Yes, I know. Yeah, and it's a place for a lot of restlessness in terms of for a kid. Yeah,
it can be. I mean, and I drew. I remember one time we were at church. We were at church, and I had remember Snap Pops, the things that you push and they pop. You throw them on the ground. There was a piece of paper wrapped up, a little piece of paper, almost looked like a piece of hard candy, but it was in kind of a white wax paper. And if you threw them, they're called Snapping Pops. And if you threw them against the ground, they would pop. And somehow I got to church with one in my pocket, and I set it off during church.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's wild. That's something that that is burned in your memory. Oh, I shouldn't have done that.
Yeah, and what's crazy is I don't recall getting beat for it, which that seems like something prime to get beat with.
Yeah.
But yeah,
but you do remember it as a transgression.
Oh, absolutely. I knew when it happened. I was like, ooh. I mean, I was embarrassed. It wasn't even like me going, ha ha ha. I mean, I was just like, oh
yeah, well, yeah. It'd be nice if I had that bit of psycho in me that went ha 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 at my little transgressions instead.
No, I never did. I was always. My mom always says, now she'll deny this maybe, but no, she tells. So at my church, I teach a Sunday school class. I teach my mom Sunday school class, and she always tells them, Scott was a good kid. He always spoiled me. And when the other kids came along, they gave me more problem. I never really was one to, I was with a group of guys, and when we went on a work trip to Princeton, and they were talking about, when they met their wife and some of this kind of stuff. And, one of them was like, oh, I met her at a party, and I was, we were drinking, and this happened. And then and then he talked about, before I met her, I was dating a Hooters girl and a stripper and all this kind of stuff. And I was like, I met my wife in the math office at the college.
Yeah.
I mean, I've never been one to, I'm pretty, I don't even call it straight-laced or laid back or whatever. I've never been one to
Speaking of straight-laced, have you started on Fallout?
I have started on Fallout. I kind of
I've seen all of them now, and it's kind of interesting, the alternate universe. We're talking about beaver cleavers. If America had gone to war, the nuclear apocalypse had happened in an alternate universe where we were about at that time of beaver cleaver.
yeah.
In terms of like an ideal kind of moment in American society. And it's an
I
interesting alternate universe time kind of thing.
yeah. I did not care to. The first one really threw me. I think there was too much stuff thrown at me. I
Uh-huh.
watched the second one last night and I really liked it.
Yeah, it takes a while to warm up to it. I think I was all the way through three before it finally presented something that said, "Come along with me. You'll be interested in this." It finally presented one of those things essential for a story is that you want more. They
Yeah.
presented a little bit of a mystery or whatever that says, "Oh yeah, you're going to want to know about this," and it's like,
Yeah.
"Yeah,
You
yeah,
need to pay
yeah,
attention.
finally."
Pay attention to me.
Yeah.
I have the movie. I checked out the library last week. Monster Squad.
Oh, how about that?
So
'Cause I haven't seen that. I've heard about that a
I've
lot,
never seen it. I've heard about it, but
and
I may watch that tonight since I'm not working tomorrow. I don't have to go bed early.
there's this whole, it's generational. There's these people that say, "Hey, you're going to dig this movie." Like just recently, they had the Red Letter Media people who I follow on YouTube quite a bit, watch all their little shorts and reviews, and they were reviewing Predator 2. And I just know that that is much more important to them as a movie than it was to me who saw it in the theater.
Oh yeah,
They saw it, on the cable presentations and all that, and they remember it as kind of a kick-ass movie, and I saw it, and my impression is this is half of the Arnold movie, but it was interesting to see it in their light and their appreciation of it. That the idea that it's an underappreciated movie.
I'll gi- I'll give you some Scott trivia.
Okay.
Michelle and I went and saw Predator on our honeymoon.
Oh my gosh, how about
Yeah,
that?
looking back, I don't know. I mean, and I thought it was pretty good, but looking back, it's like I can't believe Michelle. She must have really been in love with me.
Yeah, that was an odd movie to pick for the old
Well,
lady.
we were on, we were in a strange city, and we were.
Yeah, looking for yeah.
No, I think yeah, we're looking for something to do, and like I said, I think at that point Michelle was like, I'll do whatever."
Yeah.
Um, so I have. So have I told you? I don't know. Have I told you about the guy at the Walmart by me that's got the weird deal going on?
Yeah, how's this
Oh my
deal?
gosh! Well, just about the time I think I'm at this whole thing's vain because okay, so we were supposed to get together, and he sent me a text on a Saturday, no, a Friday, and he goes, "Hey, I'm on my way to the airport. I've got to go to Las Vegas because they want me to be," and they had a big media thing, and they wanted him there for it. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So I said, "That sounds cool." He said, "Well, I have to get," I said, "We'll catch up when you get back." And he goes, "Yes, definitely." Well, I hadn't heard anything from him. It's been 3 weeks, 3 or 4 weeks.
3 weeks. Wow. Okay.
And so I thought, well,
Yeah.
who knows? Maybe
Yeah.
they came to maybe they're like, we don't want this guy involved or whatever.
They took the wind out of his sail. Something
Or
happened.
something. Yeah, yeah. I was like, well, but I didn't think much of it, but we hadn't seen him at Walmart. And he texted me a day and he goes, "Have you got any of my texts?" And I go, "No." And he goes, "Oh man," he goes, "I'm having trouble with my phone." He goes, can we talk for about 3 minutes sometime today?" And I said, "Yeah, I'll call you. I'm going to break in about 5 minutes. I'll call you at 10. He said, "Okay." So I call him, and he said, "I went out there." He said, "I've got a package for you." I go, "What?" And he's told me, he goes, "I have to talk to you today." I said, "Okay." He goes, "I got a package for it." And I go, "Okay, what?" And will the guy in charge sent me a book about this. I don't know what it is. Something about this deal he's putting together. I don't know if it's a book for investors or a book for just telling about it or a souvenir. I don't know what it is.
Mm-hmm.
But he's like, I got this book for you, and he said, here's the thing, it's this guy's birthday, and he goes, it would be great if you would just send him a message, just a little. I'll give you his cell number if you'll just text him a message. And I go, I'll do that. I don't care. And anyway, this is the guy. This is the guy that started MTV, Ellis.
Wow.
CMT. A big early cable guy.
Mm-hmm.
I think he invented. He did the Rolling Stones first Rolling Stones pay-per-view concert. I mean, he's a big deal. And I'm like, I'll call him. I'll text him. And so I texted the guy and I said, hey, I told him what he said. Tell him what you. He said, tell him who you are. He said he knows you because we've talked about your project, the Black Cricket. And apparently, well, apparently the guy wants to hear more about the Black Cricket. I don't know.
Oh my God, that's amazing.
So he said, tell him that you're the guy at the Black Cricket, that we're friends, and just wish him a happy birthday. And so I sent him a text and I said something like, Scott Sackett, artist of the Black Cricket, Dave told me it was your birthday. I just wanted to wish you a happy birthday. And I said, I know that you've accomplished a lot in your life, but I'm sure that the best is yet to come. And then I said something like, have a great day and may God bless you richly, or something like that. I threw on something like that. Anyway, he texted me back. He goes, he basically just said, oh, thank you very much. It's very kind of you. So it's like, I texted.
He acknowledged you. Huh? That's good.
I texted the guy that created MTV today.
Well, that's interesting. It's James Wood's birthday, and it's Edgar Wright's birthday. If you know that guy.
Ben Dunn's birthday.
Huh?
I think it's Ben Dunn's birthday. The guy at Art Press.
How about that?
I think, or maybe it was yesterday. I didn't send him a birthday wish because Dave didn't tell me to. No.
You have to be prompted on all this birthday nonsense.
Well, yeah. Well, God, man. I mean, anyway. So, but I mean, it's so bizarre. There's so much weird stuff going on in my life right now, Ellis. Between that and my brother and I talking about all the projects we want to work on.
Yeah.
He called me today. My brother, I don't want to tell you online, but my brother's a great idea for a brand for a storage unit. I mean, it's phenomenal, and if we do this, it'll be like, it'll be great. It'll be something that we could sell merchandise based off of it. I mean,
really?
Oh yeah.
Because I keep unfolding the idea of a storage unit in my own mind, and I start thinking of like all the stuff that has to go into it before it becomes a viable thing. It's like, man, I keep complicating it in my mind in terms of like what has to go in place. At first you think of it as like almost like here's a couple of big boxes and we're done. But no, it's got to be it's got to
be ran like a business. Yeah, you'll need surveillance. You need alarms. You need gates. I mean, it's going to be, if we do this, it's going to be, but the guy that my brother knows, my brother knows all kinds of people that own them or have owned them and stuff.
Oh, really? That's good. That's great to be mentored.
Well, my brother, my brother works at a credit union. They do that kind of stuff.
Uh-huh.
And that guy told him the income potential is similar to owning an apartment complex, but it's so much cheaper to build and maintain because you have people living there.
Now the area you're going to put it in, is it like a desert of nothing else is around, or
no? It's in Oklahoma City. It's my mom's farm. It's on the west side of Oklahoma City. So you could say it's surrounded by houses on three sides.
Okay.
I mean, and they're building like 180, I think, or 100 and they're building a couple hundred, what they're calling small affordable homes south of it, like butting up to the property. And so it's like, and their idea is this would be for people that are downsizing. And I'm like, well, crap, they'll need place to store all their
stuff as they move in.
There's
move
not
out.
a storage unit within. If you go out you have to go out 6 miles to find the nearest storage unit to the property. And it's the way the city's growing. So I mean, I think it'll be lucrative, and my brother and I've talked about, we would essentially, if we did it, we'd have to keep office hours. It's like, well, so and most storage units that which we've gone to a bunch of them to talk to them and stuff, not telling them we're going to start one or
be competing with you.
Right. Just talking to them about, I wanted to rent a storage unit. What do you. And most of them, they have office hours 6 days a week. They're closed on Sunday. You can get into your stuff because it's all electronic gates and stuff. But that's even closed between 10 at night and 6 in the morning.
Yeah.
But their office hours, so you couldn't get there in the middle of the night. You don't have people pulling stuff out in the middle.
No, you don't want that.
But the office hours are from let's see, I think it was 10. It was either 10 or 9 to like 4:30 in the afternoon. Or no, I'm sorry, 6 at night. I think was I forget when they closed. It was probably 6. So people would go by after they get off work. But you figure, there's 2 of us, we'd be working there 3 days a week.
Yeah.
And it'd be our thing, and there wouldn't be. It's not like retail where there'd be somebody there 24 hours.
You wouldn't be breaking anybody's heart by being a slum lord. And it's I dig that idea. I really dig it.
My brother, he called me today on the way home, and he said somebody told him that owned several or dealt with them told him that storage units are a lazy man's business.
Yeah, exactly. No,
Which
I'll
cop to that.
Yeah. Sure.
Well, I mean, and I could go out there, Ellis, and
make it an adventure. Yeah, I mean, it's like, yeah.
Well, I'd go out there and draw.
Sure.
When people weren't coming to the storage unit.
Yeah, have your own little bat cave area for it.
We'd have it. I could see myself going there, and I'd take a coffee pot, and we'd have
sure,
all the mod cons, and it'd be good. Anyway,
do some audio book listening and stuff like that. Yep.
Yeah. I figure we'll get a TV and a coffee pot and who knows what else. And when there's not anybody there, we're doing whatever. And I mean, I'd take a sketchbook and draw.
Sure.
Or whatever, books. I mean, I can't imagine that there'd be that much. I mean, there probably would be busy times, but I wouldn't think it'd be real busy. Again, not like a retail, not like a runner.
No, that just sounds just super as an idea of what to do with money. If you've got money and it's like you've got a rich dad, poor dad idea, I don't think much else beats it other than going into the storage business. I'm going to take my sweater off, so I'll be incommunicado for a second.
Okay.
I'm back.
Well, and I could very easily pack up a drawing board. I could be working on comics out there. I mean, that's not unachievable by any means.
Well, and think about that. That's just an extra cascade of positivity on top of it. It's like have something that's making money, and while you're sitting on top of it, do something else entrepreneurial.
Yeah.
It's almost like here I am sitting on my money maker and making money at the same
Yeah.
time.
Yeah. I mean, you never know how this stuff is going to play out.
Mm-hmm.
My mom. I mean, I don't know. There is a lot of family dynamics going on with this because it's my mom's property that we'd be doing it on, and she is like,
she doesn't want to see you. Yeah.
She don't want to see us fail, which I've kind of complained about because, like, well, don't you want to see us do something good?
Yeah.
But I think her thing is, why don't you just enjoy life, and why take all this risk? And it's like, well, I want to do something, but oh well. I don't know if we convinced her or not. In the meantime, my brother and I are going to a seminar about Christmas tree farms in a couple of weeks.
A seminar. See, that's the deal. I mean, I guess, now what did you do? What was the process of even discovering where a seminar was at for that?
I met a girl at my work. Her mom owns a Christmas tree farm, and I talked to her, and she said, "Oh, we're having a seminar."
This is where the idea germinated then.
Right. Yeah, because somebody at my work, actually a guy that I was traveling with on a work trip, mentioned it. He said, I'd love. We were going through a little town, and they had a Christmas tree. There was like a shed, and the doors open, and all these Christmas trees in there. And I go, oh, that must be where they keep their Christmas trees for like the city decorations. And he goes, I've always wanted to own a Christmas tree farm. And I go, well, I said, wait a minute, what? And he goes, I used to work at one. And I go, get out of here. And he said, yeah, it was. And he named the girl, and he kind of told me a story, and I go, well, how come you never
I'm intrigued.
did it? And he goes, well, because I don't have any property. And I go, oh, so, who has property?
All of a sudden,
all of a sudden the light bulb went off. I'm like,
yeah.
Hang on, dude.
Yeah, it's amazing what.
And I've told him, I said, you're not gonna be mad if I do that, are you? And he said, no. He was looking at buying property, but he couldn't get the financing to where he could get it to work.
Yeah, I've got enough of a backyard. I could do it too.
Well,
no,
yes, if you chose, you could do it.
Instead of clover.
Yeah, instead of clover, grow Christmas trees.
I posted a thing on Instagram where Scott educated me that I had been.
You were wrong about.
I was wrong about clover as a.
Did we decide that you were wrong, or was I wrong?
I don't know. I said I didn't know it was a weed, and it can't be anything else, can it? It's
I just always assumed it was a weed.
You called it a ground cover, though, in terms
of
like an alternate notion.
Some people said it was a ground cover. So. But I think there's I don't know. I don't
know the distinction. Yeah, I mean they all. Well, weed probably does is always going to do a sparse job of actually covering the job. And the thing I object to about crabgrass is it's growing up at all kinds of lengths. It's all ugly and everything like that. Whereas the clover, it's just this big mass. It looks like some sort of like you say, a carpet has covered the ground, which I kind of dug. I mean, it was just solid green, but it does take.
But you can't mow it. That's the problem.
Yeah, it does mow tough, and I finally got that stuff done. It showed me to just stay on top of the mower's maintenance.
Yeah, you got to, because there's a guy down the street, and he's real bad about staying on top of his mowing, and he's got an electric mower.
Oh yeah,
and it'll mow about half the front yard, and then it conks out.
Yeah,
and it's like, dude, if you would mow,
yeah,
more than once a month, it wouldn't give you these fits, but. It's so hard that you didn't want to do it very often. It's like, if you mow often,
it'll be less hard.
I don't mow. I pay somebody to mow.
Yeah, sure.
But But I'm growing this fescue, or trying to. And I've been watering every night. I got a real nice one of those water sprinklers that looks like a little tractor that you will creep across the yard.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been running that just about every night, trying to get that fescue, because we paid somebody to clean out underneath our trees. They trimmed all of our trees in our backyard up to about, like, I don't know, like 8 feet or 6 feet or whatever. That's about 8 feet. And the idea is that I want grass to grow under where that, under that tree.
That void.
Yeah, because it's mud, and I don't want my dog running in the mud.
Mm-hmm.
And my brother gave me a hammock. I got a real nice hammock that I set up there. I sat in it the other night. I was like, oh, this is so nice. I need to get my Peanuts books out and sit in the hammock, read Peanuts. But instead,
I'm sorry the way that came through. If the sound is bad or at least a bit muddy, it sounds like you
said. Penis? What?
Yeah, it sounds like you said, I'm going to get my penis books out and sit under the tree.
That would be better if you said it like a Billy Bob Thornton accent.
Yeah. But anyway, we know what you meant.
Yes. Anyway, so I was gonna go down. I wanted to go down. I've gone downtown past 3 weeks on Friday to go to get a chili dog, and they've had trouble, and they didn't have any gas last week, so I had to get a Frito pie. I couldn't get a hot dog.
Oh, okay. Well, I was with you the one time, and they were closed. What was they closed?
Oh, that's right. Yeah, you were with. They were having, and it was a spin-off of that time. They were telling me that this was related to that.
Okay.
Anyway, so
something that closed them for
rehabilitating
something.
I think they had a problem with their gas was out, but they thought it'd be fixed pretty quick, but it was not.
Yep. OG&E decided the chili dog place wasn't priority.
Yep.
That's whatever.
Anyway, so I wanted to go there tomorrow, but and the weather's gonna be perfect. But the bombing memorial's tomorrow, and I got to think about that. God, it's gonna be a million.
I tell you what, sometimes when they decide they're routing traffic around there, they can create little nightmares. It's like, no, you can't go down the street.
And it ends at here's the thing. I like going downtown, but I hate it when it's packed. I'd rather go down like during spring break. I hate it. So I decided I'm going to take off work, not go downtown, just hang out here, and I got to pick up Michelle at the airport at sometime at 4, I think, 4:15, something like that. So I was going to hang out here.
Will Rogers. Oh, yeah.
The airport named after a man that died in a plane crash.
Yeah. Yep. Man that died. That's right.
Yeah.
Mysteriously disappeared with Wiley Post. We got another airport named after him.
There's 2 airports
named after guys that died
in the same plane crash.
Planes, yeah, in the same plane crash.
Yeah. So
isn't that wild? I mean, a guy that was heck, there's just no other way to put it other than to say he was a mad superstar. During his time.
Yeah, during that Depression era, Will Rogers was phenomenal and died in plane crash in Alaska
during that
or something, weren't they?
I forget. They were like exploring, weren't they? Were they ever found?
I think they were found.
I don't know. I think they were kind of like.
You're thinking of Amelia Earhart.
I know I'm thinking of Amelia Earhart a little bit, but I think they share that. I don't think they. I think they were in kind of like a.
Maybe they went to a lake or something.
They knew their route and all that, but it may have been over water. I'll check this out, see if they'd actually found them. You know what I did to myself in terms of like you brought something. Christmas tree for me. I decided to do a little bit of snap, while I'm mowing lawns and all that. I also thought I'd take down some extra growth of the tree,
Oh yeah.
and plus I get these a little between the two houses on my north side. I get these little trees that grow out of the root system of the other tree,
Oh yeah, that's what I got.
and I have
I
to
hate them.
cut the. Yeah, I hate that too. And so I came along there, and I'm just dressed in my flip flop shower sandals,
Oh
and
geez.
I'm clipping them off, and then I'm walking out saying, "Job well done." Got a handful of all the little foliage and all that. And by golly, I just jumped straight up. I stepped on I stepped on a nail. That neighbor next door is throwing nails over into my property. And no, I had created a stub about an inch or
Oh
2 inches long that
yeah.
was just as sharp as a needle when I examined it. And that had gone through that shower sandal just like butter, and had gone fairly deep into my foot, I guess.
Oh geez.
But hey, boy, it
You
was.
gotta wear your proper footwear, Ellis.
I know it is like, man, here I am just doing some quick snip, and all of a sudden it's like I've got the flesh-eating disease
Yeah. Well.
because I've done this to my foot.
Yeah. Could have been bad.
Yeah, yeah. No, it was just that one hole in it, however deep it went. I don't know how deep it went.
I don't know if I told her the story about. This will be a good day to tell it because I'm on video. But we went to Michelle's grandparents one time up in Kansas, and her grandma was telling us how she cleaned up the house for us to come up there, and she goes, "Oh, I got a splinter in my hand that's just killing me." Well, we didn't think a lot of it, and then she kind of complained about it a couple times. So Michelle said, "Well, is it still in your hand, Grandma?" She goes, "Well, I think it is." Old people don't have like a lot of feeling in their extremities a lot of times.
Sometimes, yeah.
And so Michelle was kind of like, well, and so she said, well, why don't you have Scott look at it? Because he has real steady hands and he may be able to, because she was like, well, I tried to get it out, but I can't get it out and I can't get a hold of it or whatever.
Can't see it.
And so, that was another thing. She couldn't see it. And so Michelle said, well, why don't you have Scott look at it? So she had because she did have macular degeneration, right? You say that. And she had like a magnifying glass that she'd use for all kinds of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'll hold my hand up. So it was like in her hand, like in the fleshy part of her palm. And so I held it under a magnifying thing and I was looking at it. And I go, I could see, and she had tweezers. And I said, and I could see the hole. And I said, Grandma, I can see something kind of black there. I said, hang on. And she goes, I said, I don't want to hurt you. She goes, oh, it's hurt me for days. Don't worry about it. And so I looked and I got a hold of it. I pulled it out. And Ellis, it was like that long in her palm, man.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, God. I mean, it still turns my stomach to think about her with that thing in her hand for so long.
That's kind of cool. That's another
cool.
one of those images that is now seared into the brain.
Oh, yeah. You're big on that tonight.
Yeah, and it's like, well, think about the things that you do remember, and it's like usually it's something unpleasant.
Oh yeah, usually, you know what it is? Usually it's something dumb I said,
Yeah,
or something dumb I did.
yeah. That sort of thing. Yeah, you will. Yeah, that's the sort of thing that
Kaiju
I
beat
think
your
half
butt
the
over that.
YouTube videos are on that. It's like, quit doing this. Quit with this negative mindset. Quit thinking of this. And it's like, well, I can't. So
Yeah,
there.
I mean, I think a lot of people are like that. I mean,
Yeah.
I was talking to somebody one time, and they were lamenting the fact that they were telling me, oh, they can't forgive themselves for cheating on their wife,
Yeah.
and I go, when were you married? It's like, oh, this was 20 years ago. I go, God. I said, dude,
It's like, yeah.
you know, I mean, I'm not absolving you of it. It was bad.
Yeah, it's just like, get over it is one of the only things you can say about life in general. It's like, I thought it made me think of that line in Big Lebowski saying, you and your Cynthia thing. It's like he's babysitting that damn dog for an ex-wife while, there's just no point in it because he he's still in his mind. He's with Cynthia.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, and I mean, I think that I don't know. I mean, everybody does. I mean, there's stuff that I do where it's like, God, why did I ever do that? But man, you gotta let that stuff go.
There's a lot. There's a lot in life you need to let go because there's not another damn person in the world that you could pay to obsess about it. As much as you're obsessing about it yourself. You know.
Yeah.
You could offer them $100K a year, and they couldn't do the job.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people that deal with addiction have issues with that too.
Yes, I think that there is some sort of beat yourself up factor that goes on with a lot of the guys that hit bottom.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, that great movie, is it Nightmare Alley?
No, yeah,
that they've made recently. That guy, you know, he in the book especially is he's got some real issues that he works through by becoming a creep himself. It's like he gets off on the fact that there's the rube class and there's the guy that takes advantage of the rubes.
Yeah, yeah. He feel about that, doesn't he?
And he just doesn't. He wants, and then all of a sudden he goes. That's the other thing about the Fallout. There are some nice character arcs, and when you think about Nightmare Alley, his character arc is to become, you know, right away we're introduced to his collision with the geek, which is the ultimate guy at the end of the society's.
Yeah.
You know, handing the dirty end of the stick to, and
oh yeah,
he goes all the way down. I see. You know, it's hard to top the way the book ends it. Of man, I was born to it.
Yeah,
because that's a great movie line. Man, I was born to it. When the guy, but the way the book actually ends is the guy just says, until we find ourselves a full-time geek.
Yeah.
And it's like, that's the way, it's better to just end with that. But since you've got a star that you want to end on the shot of him, you have him say, man, I was born to it.
Right. Yeah. Give it a little more punch.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think.
I take it you've read the book Nightmare Alley, have you?
Yeah, I think I have. I think I've listened. Doesn't the library have the audio?
Yes,
book?
they have the audio book. Yeah.
I think I've watched it. I've listened to the audio book.
Yeah, it's good to listen. I was surprised how snappy you know, it doesn't waste time. It gets onto the story as a movie.
Yeah.
It doesn't loiter around about his you know, his spook show stuff that he does.
Oh yeah.
They don't overdo that stuff.
Yeah, the one thing that bugged me, at least about the remake, was it's like, God, they got props in this cheap circus that's, you know, amazing.
Yeah, oh yeah, the what do you call that when you have electricity arcing off of somebody?
Yeah, like a Jacob's ladder or whatever.
Yeah, however you do that.
Michelle's boss, or I guess her old boss technically, has one of those in his office that he made.
Oh wow.
Yeah. Made it out of what was it, capacitor or condenser or something, some part of a neon sign apparently.
You got to have a intimate understanding of what's important, volts or amps, in terms of like what you want to get around.
Michelle always tells me one of them will kill you. Volts will kill you.
Amps will kill you. You can take thousands of volts, but as a matter of fact, I think electric fences are like just shoving just incredible thousands of volts through that wire, but they have no amperage.
Yeah.
amperage is volts is like if you thought of a hose, it dumps a bucket on you.
Right.
Amperage is squeezing it down and shooting a high pressure hose that takes the paint off of things, basically, and that's what it does. And it shoots that high pressure right through you, and it stops your heart.
Is Dan on the show, Ellis?
Dan is not, but I can start making up comments that Dan could be making. I'm just
great art, Scott.
Yeah, hey, great art, Scott. Well done. Gosh, I can't wait to see this when that guy that invented MTV gets a hold of it.
Yeah, I know. I haven't really talked to Dan about how this guy's in. I don't know what his interest is.
Yeah. It's like, yeah.
I mean, obviously, I'm not.
As a guy with a few extra bucks in terms of like investors just flowing around him incessantly, and that makes him an exciting person.
Yeah. Well, they've already raised, I think, like $5 million for the Oklahoma stuff.
Wow.
So I had to send him my resume or a bio. I wonder if I can find that bio. Because see if I can find this. I'll have to look. I'll have to send it to you because I photoshopped a cool picture of myself wearing it. Let me see. Hang on, I can find this. Hang on, let me save this before I get too crazy.
Yeah, exactly. Don't lose anything. You were just complaining about the tedium of all of it, having to do it over again.
Yeah. And then it's like, let's see.
I've named tonight's show Hair Loss Cured, just to see how many hits that gets.
There you go.
If it gets 10 million hits and gets me all kinds of new subscribers, then I'll know what I should concentrate on.
So I'll show you this. This is the picture. Can you see that?
Oh, yeah.
That's the picture I used.
You're a ninja.
Samurai me. So that's the picture. Let me see. I want to show you the bio. I thought the bio looked really cool. Let's see. I can't find it. Can't remember what I called it. Hang on. Let me go. Oops. Let me look at my email.
It's interesting, all the opinions I'm getting from that. I told you about that video series where a guy he calls himself James Whale's Bake Sale.
Oh, yeah.
Where he just has all these random things where he, I guess, public domain clips all these opinions of guys like Quentin Tarantino's opinion on this or that movie and just repackages it as James Whale's Bake Sale. But it's a cool little idea, and you get all these opinions that you didn't know that Tarantino had about this or that film. It's cool. What was he talking about today before I got on? Audition. He's recommending Audition to people that have never seen it. Takashi Miyake. Yeah.
So here's I should cover up my contact info. Nobody email me. Nobody call me.
Yeah. Call Scott. He's lonely.
Well, yeah, you call me, I will not answer.
Yeah.
Anyway, so there's my bio. I won't read it, but let's talk about working on the Black Cricket. Here's the line. Let me read you the last bit.
Okay.
It said, away from his day job, Scott has worked on a variety of freelance projects with an emphasis upon storytelling, especially through comic books. Scott has worked for a variety of independent publishers, most recently illustrated the 4-issue comic book series, Heaven's Rejects, Source Point Press. The series sold almost 20,000 copies, but the events of 2020 rocked the comic industry and crippled the publisher. Scott is currently working with writer Dan Johns on the Black Cricket, a superhero comic book with which the creative team is hoping to revive the seeming lost art of traditional comic book storytelling. Can they save the comic book industry? Only time will tell.
Oh, there you go.
And so then I got pages. So this is what I attached for some of the Black Cricket pages. I liked it. I thought I was very happy with this sequence right here. The I just like the way those pencils look. I thought it looked really good. That's kind of the style I like, you know. And and the jumping thing I thought was good. I attached my watercolor downtown Oklahoma City. I attached my Christmas card, and then
I think he you might have overdone it. I don't know. I say that, and it's like that's exactly what he needed to know about you to forge a future with the Black Cricket. I don't know.
My Christmas card from this year, and then my illustrator drawing of downtown New York City or Times Square.
There you go.
Which is so old that it has a place called Blowout Video on it.
Selling videos. Yep.
Yeah, selling videos. Anyway, that was what I sent. That's what I don't know. So I mean, who knows what'll happen with that deal?
Well, it's just kind of goofy to even think about that he could. That you're even linked to him. Isn't it amazing?
Yeah, I mean that's
Walmart
the cool thing.
greeter.
Like,
yeah,
I've got the cell number of the guy that was, and I don't know if he was I don't know what his exact role was, but he was one of the main wheels behind.
Lots
MTV.
of early cable. Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, that's when to get in too. So I mean, this guy is, it's cool to be around people that have they've got to appreciate fate in general when you make a whole lot of money just because you were in the right place at the right time and you walked through that door. Because I was in the right place at the right time a few times and didn't walk through the door. I remember at a little meeting we had one time at Blue Sky, I says, man, I'm going to take all my money and put it in Apple. And this was at a time when, just because there was news about their new chip they were going to start using, and Apple was not the going concern they are now.
No, Apple. People forget how bad off Apple was.
Apple was good.
In the 90s.
If I had done exactly what I said I wanted to do, and had a little money to do it with, I wouldn't be sitting here in this old 60-year-old
there were some guys
house.
at work that was going to invest in Apple because they were big Macintosh guys.
Yeah, just an enthusiasm for something.
Yeah,
if you follow up on it.
And it was when Jobs got booted, and then he came back.
Mm-hmm.
It was in the early, Apple.
That was the time. That was the time to do it. Yep.
And then they dropped off the map because they got rid of Jobs.
Mm-hmm.
And they really suffered until the iPhone or the iPod the iMac I think was really the first thing that kind of their first big, they made those, remember the multicolored iMacs?
Mm-hmm.
Those were like the first big thing that kind of came back for them. And then when they hit the iPods, the original iPods, it just really, and then of course, it went to the iPhone, and then it was, sky's the limit. But man, yeah, if I had a time machine, I'd go back then, and when they said that, I'd be like, heck yeah, I'm good. Which I don't know if they ever did it or not, but
that's the whole big payoff of what's that one with Tom Hanks? Forrest Gump.
Oh yeah, it's like
Lieutenant Dan went into a Mac and had more money than he knew what to do with. Yeah.
Well, Michelle and I bought. I'd have to do the math, but because Michelle and I would disagree. But we have a bunch of shares of Disney, and I know it sounds ridiculous because they've had so much issues lately. But we paid we paid $12 a share for our Disney stock
Mm-hmm.
back after 9/11. You know, Michelle and I, all through the 90s, we went to Disney World a lot, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And after 9/11, if you remember, after 9/11, they sent everybody a stimulus check. And we were trying to figure out what to do. You know, and everybody made fun of Bush because they said, well, that won't even buy you a muffler on a Prius.
Mm-hmm.
And I told Michelle, I go, we ought to buy some Disney stock. We still have it. And at one point it went up to almost $200 a share. And I keep telling Michelle we need to sell it.
It might come back. You never know.
It's went down and bounced back up.
It has bounced back.
Oh yeah, it's last time I looked, it was like $110 a share, I think, or something like that. So I mean, we're still way ahead. But we bought, I don't know how many shares we bought off the top of my head, but it's worth a little bit of money.
Well, Scott, I've got myself a little experiment. Maybe I'll go solo on me real quick, so I'll show what I did today.
I do that.
Solo layout for Ellis. Can't even make it out. That I'm going to cover with fixative, and then I'm going to put a little oil over it and wipe it off, and that will become a pick out of the shadow.
Nice.
And this is the other doodles I did tonight of some lizardish thing and Indiana Jones kind of pose, and I was using the entire time this Blackwing mat.
Yeah.
And okay.
That was his favorite new pencil, which he gave me one.
Yeah.
Which is very generous of you. I mean, because
it wasn't particularly generous since you paid for almost everything we did. Other than that day, what else did we do? We ate and we did something else where you paid for it.
I think I bought coffee, maybe.
Oh yeah,
I bought coffee.
Coffee, and we ate. So it was all on your.
Well,
I bought you a pencil.
I enjoy spending time with you, and I don't want it to cost you money. I understand, you know.
Oh yeah. I had a tough month too, so you were treating me.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Well, Scott, you ready to bail?
Yeah,
it looks like you got quite a bit done. I tell you what,
I want to talk to you for a minute.
That tone is looking really good on that. It's sweet. I like the fact that you go that extra step.
I wish it was going faster.
Yeah.
It like everything.
X amount of time. Okay, We're ending. Say bye.
See you guys. Thanks, everybody.